I hope everybody's well. We're going to get started in just a few moments. David, you ready?
I'm here. I'm ready to go.
All right, awesome. All right, let's get started then. Thank you to everybody that's attending. We're going to be sharing today our Back9 boss system, which definitely has been a game changer for life insurance sales. The brokers that have been working with us now on it, they definitely love it. It has helped simplify the process tremendously and increase their sales tenfold. And the feedback has been awesome. We're very proud of this. Not only is the technology superior and going to help you sell more life insurance policies, but also the team we have behind this is great. And the customer service is first class also. So guys, we have on this call David Marks, who is going to be presenting today. He's one of the national executives with Back9. He's definitely the man, and he's going to give us a good presentation, a good introduction on this. I'm going to turn it over to him. Let's get started.
Thank you, Rob. I appreciate that. It's good to be here, giving another demo today. So I see a bunch of you on here. Probably looks like a little less than usual, but lots of good names. I see some people who've already reached out to me, and I told them, hey, let's get on this demo and show it off today. So first, let me just tell you a little bit about Back9 Insurance. Back9 is it's a family-owned company based in Southern California in Westlake Village, which is just north of LA, south of Santa Barbara. So I don't know if you have any West Coasters out here. I personally am actually in Denver, Colorado. So I travel out there to see them once in a while in person, but like the world is now, we can work virtually. And I think that if you didn't know how to do it before the pandemic, you certainly know how to do it now, because there was really no choice. Anyway, so Back9 though is, like I said, is a family-owned company. It's considered a BGA, a brokerage general agency, or an IMO, which is virtually the same thing. An insurance marketing organization. Different ways of looking at that, but for the most part, what we do is just 4 products. Okay, life insurance, disability insurance, long-term care insurance, and annuities. Okay, we can help you do those things. For the most part, we're talking about individual products, not group products. We're talking about mostly underwritten products, not quick issue. No underwriting products, although we do have a bunch of those, like final expense type products that we can talk about as well. I'm going to show you our basic systems today, which is quote and apply, and our boss system. 2 different systems, but both of them are things that you want to use and make use of on a daily basis. So I'm going to show you those things today. And if you want to come back tomorrow, I think we're going to have a discussion about things like underwriting and individual products. Okay. So if any of you aren't already contracted with us, make sure that you do get contracted with us. If Rob hasn't put it into the chat yet, let's see if he did. Rob, did you put anything in the chat? Not yet. I'm going to paste this right in the chat. This is the link. If you want to use that link, you can get signed up. If you haven't already, for some of you that are on here that might not have already been signed up, although Rob is really good at making sure everyone is fully signed up and ready to go. So I'm going to share my screen with you here in a second. Let's see here, screen sharing. Okay, so, okay, let's share my screen. Can you see my Google screen there? Everybody good on that? Can you see it, Rob?
Good to go, David.
Okay, cool. All right. So, so again, we're going to talk about quote and apply, and we're going to talk about the boss system. First, I'm going to show you quote and apply, because you know what the main thing is, as agents, we want to get stuff done, right? And so I'm going to show you this is our demo site. Each one of you, when you sign up, you automatically get your own quote and apply site, and There's a couple different ways to find this, but and you can use our demo site if you want. The reason I'm using the demo site is because when I put information in here, it does not go into live production. Some of you like to test things out with your personal with your personal link, but I don't really recommend that because again, if you go too far, you're going to go into production. So so here's a good place. You go to quoteandapply.io. You can also go to intelligentquote.com, and it's just a site that we put up here to kind of mirror or mock up what an agent might put together, and really it's all designed just for quote and apply. So while I'm getting ready, let me just put this on really quick for you. So hold on a sec. Okay. I assume you can see this.
David, FYI, it's kind of small. There's no sound.
Can you? What's that, Rob?
It's kind of small and there's no sound.
You can't see it or hear it.
Great. I can see it very small, but no sound. Can't hear it.
Okay. Well, I guess I don't know how Zoom works. Once again, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and hit the demo button. I was just kind of getting something prepared over here, but so the demo, here's what it's going to do. Again, everybody has a site like this now, and it's going to have your logo. If you want to put in a logo, some people will put in their picture. Some people have a logo. Otherwise, it'll just default to your initials. If it were me, it would just say DM right there where it says your logo. If I didn't put anything else in, and you can actually customize this line. It'll already say something for you. You can customize this, but I'm going to show you what it would take just to put this in. Now, keep in mind, this site is it was designed to be a consumer facing website, but I'll tell you the best practice is really when agents go through this for their clients or with their clients, is when they get actual sales. Okay. A lot of people can send out their link, hoping they're going to get sales. They don't end up getting a lot of sales, quite frankly, but when an agent is involved is when sales actually happen. So I'm just going to, create kind of a dummy thing here for Bruce Wayne. People got tired of me writing in Clark Kent. So I'm like, let's do Bruce Wayne. And what's his gender? Now this is a tough question right here. How healthy are you? Okay. This is the toughest question on here. And we give you a little bit of a hint. 10% of applicants qualify for excellent, which equals super preferred. And if you know anything about underwriting, some companies call that preferred best. Some companies call that preferred plus. There's a couple other different names as well, but obviously this would be the healthiest. This is the next healthiest. About 20% of applicants apply for great or better, and that equals a preferred rate. And so it goes on down. So Bruce Wayne, that's Batman, if you guys don't know. So he's probably really healthy, and he's probably never used nicotine. Now, if we say that somebody used nicotine or cannabis, it's just going to drill down and ask additional questions. So I'm just going to make this an easy app and say things like never. I have no idea how tall he is or anything like that, but he's probably like, 6'3", 180. I have no idea. Of course, about 12 different actors have played Bruce Wayne, Batman, right? So no idea how old he would be, but let's just kind of come up with, I don't know, maybe a 40-year-old. I don't know what you guys are going to insure. I generally, can show you, I can show you this for, we could do term insurance. We could do final expense products. I think this shines obviously with the term products because you get to shop quite a few of them. So what would that be? Maybe 1980-ish. It's probably a 41-year-old. Here's what you're going to get. You're going to start to see this slider. You can do a death benefit. You can slide that up and down. You can see that we're choosing right now. It's on term, but we could do an accidental death policy. or return a premium term, or lifetime, meaning permanent life insurance, meaning universal life or whole life insurance. So just again, in the name of keeping it easy, we're going to do a term product. Here's some choices. So some of you look at this and say, oh, wow, there's 40-year term, there's 35-year term. I didn't know that. That's going to obviously come in a lot cheaper than, that's still going to come in cheaper than permanent life insurance. But I think only one company even offers 40-year term and 2 offer 35. So if you want to look for something competitive, 20s and 30s are always really competitive. So let's maybe look at the 30-year term for this guy. And this is what we're highlighting because this comes in at the best price. It says it right there, best price. If you scroll down a little bit, you can see, oh, maybe you choose one of these other companies because these are all companies available here. Now, Back9, we're giving you access to over 4 dozen life insurance companies. Okay, they're not all on quote and apply. The best ones are on quote and apply, and which is about 18 of them. Okay, we just didn't have the capacity to put everything out there, and there's really no reason. Quite frankly, are you even looking down here at Prudential and Transamerica at those prices at 147, 159 when the guy could get 106? I don't think you are. But these are obviously big names. And so we're not, we don't want to keep them out of there, but there weren't too many big names that come after these guys. So 18 was really good. It's recommending this Transamerica policy. We can learn more about it. I can show policy details, now exam possibly required. So companies have changed their requirements a bunch through the pandemic about whether or not they want an exam. So we're needing less and less of those these days. But we certainly it's the norm still to have an exam with fully underwritten insurance. But we're going to give you a little validation about the weight. So if you put in a guy who's 6'3" and he was 220 pounds, and you look at this and oh wow, he is really close, maybe let him know he's 3 pounds off. So because if a guy's estimating, if a client tells you I'm about 220, you might want to have them step on the scale and make sure, because if they do have an exam and the examiner comes out and they're 225, well, they're not getting this rate. That's just how that works. Tells us a little about conversion. We're telling you here, if you want to pay annually, you can save $39 a year. So we can switch it up. I can just hit the switch. So look at that. I'm paying a little bit less annually now. I can also do that by scrolling all the way down, even past these companies, and making the change. Like maybe I just wanted to do a quarterly payment, or maybe so this, one of the things this does is it geolocates you in the state that you are in at the moment on this computer. So I'm here in Colorado. If I wanted to write a policy in Chicago, Illinois, I would have to change this over here to Illinois. Excuse me. And so this is where I would change it, and then I'd rerun the quote. Okay, so pretty easy. Numbers are going to come out the same in pretty much 49 states. Things come out a little bit differently in New York sometimes. Everything else is the numbers are going to end up being the same. But again, we've got these policy details. And if you want to know something about this policy, hit product guide right there. That's not just a pretty logo there. That is literally pulling up this product guide right here in this is a PDF. And so it's 8 pages. Guess what? Download this thing, send it to your client. If you're going through it for your client, download it and send it to your client. Put it on your computer so you just have it available. If you want to, the clients can look at this and they can learn a little something. This gives you some good information. Like it's only available for 18 to 80. So if you were looking at this and if someone wanted to insure their children, they're becoming adult children, they've got a 19-year-old and a 17-year-old. Why doesn't it come out on the 17-year-old? Because it's not available. So, the guide sometimes gives you some good information. Sometimes they're crap. And so there you go. So I'm going to hit continue. Okay. Continue is going to take me right to doing the application. So in the application, I'm going to just put in my own email address. Believe it or not, this will actually still go out even though it's a dummy site. And I'll put in my own phone number here, just so that it doesn't go anywhere else. This does confirm for you what you're applying for. You're applying for the Transamerica Trendsetter Super 2012 $1,240 a year. As soon as I hit next, you guys need to know this. As soon as I fill out this first page, just these 4 things, first, last, email, and phone, when I hit next, an email goes out to the client and says, thanks for starting an application with us. If you get locked out, if you, if your computer goes down or something like that, you can, there's a link there for them to get back into it. Okay. So if you're doing this for your client, just know that an email has gone out, and I'll show you when we get into Boss that you can actually customize what that email says if you want it to say different things, or you can turn it off if you want. If you're someone who's always doing it for your client, great. But I would just tell your client, I'm going to get it started. Don't touch this thing if you get it. So again, it's going to geolocate me. I'm going to put in some address information. I'm just randomly putting in things. Again, it's coming up with things that are going to be right here in Colorado, that are going to fill out the application. So that's all random stuff. Is he employed? Yeah. I guess his employer is Wayne Enterprises, and he's the CEO, and he's been there. I have no idea. And the address, again, I'll put in some dummy stuff, and it'll come up with who knows what. But again, it starts to pull it up for you, which makes it fast and easy. So your client starts to tell you their address, and you're already way ahead of them, telling them you already know the city, state, and zip code. You're done. Will he own the policy? Yes, but if we said no, you could have another individual own it. So you could have a trust own it, you can have a business own it. So if this is, if you're doing business coverage, like Wayne Enterprises is going to cover Bruce Wayne as the key person, you can have the business own the policy, or an individual. Maybe a couple good reasons for that would also be business insurance. When you have partners, partners would insure each other. And you could either have the business own it, or you could have a cross purchase arrangement where the individual partners own life insurance on each other, which actually has tax advantages. So you probably want to do that. Talk to me if you get into a buy sell case like that. Or people getting divorced often will get insurance where the spouse wants to own the insurance on the ex-spouse who's owing them, who might owe them some child support payments or alimony payments. But in this case, I'm just going to keep it as Bruce, so I don't have to fill in more people. Next, we're asking for the beneficiary. The beneficiary, again, could be an individual, it could be a business, it could be a trust. So let's just do the individual. And in this case, I'm going way off the story of Bruce Wayne because he is a notorious bachelor. He's probably really doesn't have personal life insurance needs, quite frankly. But I'm going to put in just a random woman. Martha is, of course, Spider-Man's mom. I know.
He had Alfred, David, the butler.
There you go. Alfred the butler. So, okay. I mean, you know what? You could put that in as domestic partner. That's totally acceptable. And that would be doable. So, but if I put in wife is what on the drop down here, I put in wife, and they were smart enough to realize that once I put in wife, we're going to fill in the street address. We're going to fill in the street address. So you don't have to worry about that part because they live together. We get that. Now, these 3 things are optional: phone, social security number, and date of birth. And let me give you a little clue here. They're optional, but they're not optional. They're optional because we want the clients to get through an application, or for the agent to get through the application easier. This is sometimes harder to get. Have you ever asked a guy what his wife's birth date is? Sometimes they don't know. Sorry guys, but it's, we're not as keen on that. And I've seen it many times. Oh yeah, it's November 4th. No, 5th. No, I don't know. So don't put in the wrong date of birth. I say it's not optional because we will get through the whole application and apply, but they're always going to come back and ask you all 3 of these things. Okay. So, so I'm just going to put in, information here. Those are random numbers. And 12, 19, whatever, 85. I can put in contingent beneficiaries. By the way, I can put in as many of these as I want. So a lot of times people want to have multiple beneficiaries. And it's even more true on contingent beneficiaries. They want to have, they want to name all 3 of their kids. You can put that all in there. Okay. I'm going to skip it. You can skip that because you don't have to put in contingent beneficiaries. Now I'm putting information in about Bruce, his annual income. I have no idea. He probably makes $1 million a year. We know he's very wealthy, probably is worth 100 million. I have no idea again, and has no liabilities. And he's got a social security number. That's not optional because if a client's applying, they're going to know their social security number. Where were they born? Well, I think he's Metropolis, but there's I think Metropolis is supposed to represent New York. Oh no, Metropolis is Superman. Damn it, I'm bad at this.
It's Gotham. Gotham is Batman.
Gotham, thank you. That, which also is basically New York, right?
Yep.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so got to have a driver's license number. Since I'm doing this in Colorado, this will verify the format for a driver's license number. So here in Colorado, it's like 2 numbers, 3 numbers, and then 4 numbers with dashes in between. Although for our system doesn't like the dashes. Wait, I might have one too many, one too few. What do I have here? Okay, when it turns green is when it's right. So I had an extra number and it's not green, so it's not good. So I got to take that out. It's green, it's good. Bankruptcy. Basically, this is not as explicit, but no or yes. The question is really, have you ever had a bankruptcy? Okay, so no, in this case, we're going to put next. Does he have existing coverage? He probably does, but I'm not going to go spend the time to go through that. But you're just adding, if they have existing coverage, we report that, and we report, and especially if it's being replaced. You guys probably remember from licensing how important that is, and the state you live in is watching you. Believe me, they want to. You have to report this correctly. So here's a cool thing: physician information. So Bruce, Transamerica may need to see your doctor's records because you provide your doctor's records electronically to speed up your application. Well, we could say yes. And here's what's going to happen. If I click this button right here, it will immediately send a text and email invitation to him to get into a portal. And I'm going to show you the portal just by logging in here. This is no good if you're the agent, though. The client has to be present for it. And the reason is because we're going to get into the system. It's called Human API. A lot of insurance companies are using it these days. We're going to get started. And we're gonna find, we're gonna say, where have you received medical care in the last 5 years? So we're gonna put in a system. You can put in a system like Kaiser. That's very, very common. Obviously, these are the common ones, which is why they put this in here. But also, if you just have, a doctor, some doctor, you can write their name in here and it'll do a search. I'd hate to do something generic here, but if I put in Johnson, I guarantee it's going to come up with a lot of them. But if I put in more information, obviously we can get. Look at that, Rock, Johnson, Dwayne. That doesn't sound legit to me, guys. But if you can find yours in here, and then I'll just pick something, and then what you're going to do is the client needs to put in their username and password that they would use to access their doctor, and you connect account, and it'll tell you if you've connected successfully or not. But what it's going to do is you're already using your current login credentials. And it's going to do a one-time download of your medical records for the insurance company to use. It's an amazing system when we get this done. I'll tell you, we're probably successful 50% of the time. About 50% of the time, we're not. What's amazing about it is getting immediate records makes this go so much faster as compared to the old-fashioned way. So I don't know how many of you have been in the business for a long time or not, but the old-fashioned way is quite simply, we have them sign a HIPAA form. They have to physically sign it, although they're electronically signing here anyway, but they will send you the form to have your client sign it. They have to physically sign that and, fax it over or scan it back over. And they don't take electronic signatures usually. It gets sent to your doctor, and the doctor packages it up and sends it out in the mail. But you know what? Doctors take a long time to send these things. It can take weeks and weeks. And if Kaiser Permanente is a great example. Here in Denver, they say once they receive an order in good standing on paper, it's going to be 6 to 8 weeks before they send it out. That's a long time. We don't want to wait that long. I know I don't. Anyway, so I'm going to click this button and I'm going to hit this invitation so Bruce can go in and get those things. Okay. So So he'll see that. So I'm going to move on. Here's the underwriting questions. I'm not going to bore you with these, but they do ask questions like, your sports and hazardous activities. I don't think, I honestly think he's probably going to be very hazardous, swinging from buildings and whatever else he does. But do you plan to travel in the next 12 months? So let's just say you answered yes to one of these. They just want you to provide more information, December 2021, vacation planned to Cancun, Mexico. Okay. If you have multiple things, just fit it in the line. June 2021, traveled to Spain, 1 week business trip. Okay. That's all. Give them the information. More of these, risk questions. You can figure out how to answer these. Again, hopefully you're not saying yes, because no's are better. But if you have to say yes, then absolutely, please disclose it, because you're going to get better answers if you've disclosed things and that they didn't have to go find themselves. Okay. So is it business or personal? Is he married? Well, he's single as hell, but we'll say married. We're going to keep moving through this. Next. Do we want to start coverage immediately? If we say yes, we can fill in an EFT right here, which is pretty nice. Give them the routing number and account number. You don't have to name the bank even, because the routing number names the bank already for us. And we can get through that. So I'm going to hit no and just close this down. But I could do that. Now, signing preferences. If I'm the agent doing this, I'm going to hit email, and it's going to send it in email for the client to receive. When they receive the email, it will ask them for a verification code. It changes up the verbiage. I don't know exactly what it says right now, but I can tell you some people have a problem with this. The verification code is the last 4 digits of your social security number. Okay. So I'm not going to hit email right now because I don't need it to come to me. I'm just going to hit now, and this is what it looks like when you get into it. It's a DocuSign document. I assume many or most of you have probably done electronic document signings. Here, it takes a minute to prepare it. I'll take a drink. When I talk too much, Rob knows this because he watches me do this all the time. I always lose my voice, guys. So we're already halfway through, and it already starts to go. Let's see here. So here's the DocuSign coming up. You have to agree. That's very simple. And we're going to hit continue. And this tells you this is a demo document only, but this is just what Transamerica's document looks like. And our system filled it in for you. And that's it. And you can read through it. You can look at it. You can see what it says. It's up to you. If I want to, I could print this so I can read it. I could download it into combined or separate PDFs. Some people want a copy of it. Keep in mind, I always tell people to keep a copy of it. But if we complete this successfully, your application will be pasted into your policy as part and parcel of your policy. So you will have a copy of it then. And and I'm just going to hit start. And I'm going to click this. It's going to ask me to I can change the style, but it's all just electronic signing. I like that one. Adopt. So I'm adopting a signature. I'm just clicking through to sign. All this initials, documents. What I always tell clients that, what am I signing here? Because some people want to scrutinize the heck out of it and waste time doing it. Let them know that, everything that we just put into the application is what we were just telling them that yes, that is true and correct to the best of my knowledge. And that I am, I'm acknowledging, that by signing, you're acknowledging that you are applying for life insurance, that you are acknowledging that the life insurance company can begin collecting information on you now in order to make a decision. And they are not obligated to insure you at this time. And you are not obligated to take insurance at this time or at any time. Because with insurance, you can always let it go. There's nothing that ever keeps you in it. You have insurance as long as you want to have insurance. I hit finish. It'll give me a little confetti thing. Congrats. Here's what happens next. Your application is being sent. So truth is, that's not exactly what's happening next, because what's happening for real is that application is now emailed to the agent. The agent has to countersign to complete it. And for the agent, it's the same thing. You're going to get, it'll ask you for a verification code, which is the last 4 digits of your social security number, not your client, because we know it if you've done contracting with us. And then you just click through to sign everywhere as well. You have to, there are some additional questions the agent has to answer. Like, they usually ask like, how are you, how are you related to the insured? Or like, how are you related to the insured? How long have you known the insured? Is there a companion application? Is there anything else you want to tell us? It's also going to come through with their very first page for you is just going to be like this blank page where it's a cover sheet. So time and time again, if you ever talk to an underwriter, underwriters always say, not enough people write cover sheets. Tell us what's happening in your case. It's just a person on paper. We don't know what's going on here. If there's something you need to tell us, write it in a cover sheet. And in your application, you'll see that you get a chance to just write free form information. And if you have something eloquent to say, please, by all means, tell them what's happening so they can understand it. Okay. So that's what quote and apply looks like. Let me take a drink. Let's see here. Do we have any questions yet about quote and apply? I know we've got there's a chat, but no questions. That's good. Okay, great. That means I'm doing awesome. Perfect. You can ask questions in the Q&A if you want to. I will get to it. I will get to them by the end. Okay, so let's go to Boss. Actually, let me first, I'm just going to go to back9ins.com. Okay, that's our website. Go there, and here's the website. Tells you a little bit of stuff. Here we're talking about quote and apply again. You want to know. Oh, look at that. We've changed up changed it up. Of course we have. But you can learn some. We've got like some news articles on here, and we've got like a list of carriers. They're missing. Okay, cool. No list of carriers. I'm going to log in. Okay, don't hit the sign up button, you guys, because in the Q&A is the correct sign up for you. And what I've done here is I've just logged in as a guy who signed up with us a couple years ago and never did any business with us because he's a real person, but we don't have a dummy account in Boss to share with you. So I just want to show you because this is what it'll look like for you when you first get in, and that's what I like about it. This is the front page. Okay. And the guy's name is Steve Castro. You can see that there. Yes, he's a real human being. He lives here in Colorado. He used to be a wholesaler for an insurance company. And quite frankly, he doesn't really do business. Doesn't really do business. So he's probably never going to send us anything. But this is what it looks like. You're on home right away. And this will show you your commissions, kind of an up and down graph, which is kind of a nice thing to look at. Tells you about your profile is 16% complete because we started one, but we didn't do all these things. Here's what I want you to do first. You can click go to settings there, but also if you don't see this orange bar, settings is also right here. And here's what I want you to do. Go through each of these steps, okay? And give us the information that we need. So you can see Steve was with us in 2016. That's how long ago this was. Because he is expired, but you can upload your E&O. But this is where you give us information about you. You can put in your avatar, so your picture or your logo. You can change your password. Here's your quote and apply link. You can, let's see here. We can enable or disable which notifications that we might want. But we got to give all the information so that we got to provide the information about where to pay commissions and your E&O. We have to give your employment record, all these things that it's going to take, background questions, all these things is what it takes for us to appoint you with each and every company that we work with. Okay. So I need you to do that first. Everything that we just did on quote and apply here, you won't be able to get all the way through it until you have done contracting. Okay. So, so you'll see, you'll have some limitations. So you can also go to settings and it'll just take you to that same spot. Okay. I want to show you something else underneath your name, Back9 contacts. So a lot of people have a hard time with this. This is the list of people you can contact at my company. Here's me. I'm on top of your list. If you signed up here, I'm on top of your list, and you can see what everybody's role is. Okay, so no reason to contact a case manager, case concierge until you actually have a case in house. And quite frankly, you're going to have case managers on each one of your on your case anyway, so you'll have a direct person to contact as soon as you submit a case anyway. So you'll rarely be needing those ones. If you need to contracting is one of the first things you do with us. So Christina is somebody you might need to reach out to. Here's her phone number. Here's her email address. Our internal wholesaler, Todd, this is the guy who runs Direct Quotes. If you have disability questions, Monty is here. So anyway, this is kind of a list of contacts so you know how to reach people. Every single page of Boss has these 2 buttons on it. You can meet with David Marks. Okay, so click on that and you can find a time to meet with me. Now, Fair Insurance Solutions, I'll just tell you right now, that's like a retail presence. I have a lot of like wealth managers who come to me who are, managing, millions and millions of dollars of assets and don't sell insurance. And they come to me and say, I can't let an agent sell to my client. I want you to do it. So I created a retail brand around handling that for them, which is when I signed up with Calendly like 5 years ago. But if you wanted to sign up for me, you can just click a spot, give me your name, phone number, and tell me what you want. This will send you up for a 15-minute conversation with me, okay? Or just call me. I'll call you back if I can. Email me if I'll get back to you if I can. Okay, so that's some real basics about it. Let's look at quote and apply. We keep it green because we're always touting quote and apply because it's what makes us better than other carriers. Nobody has this. Everybody's got iGo, which we do have as well, but this is so much better. So this is going to show the quote and apply websites that you have. This guy has 2 of them. You can add extras if you want to. And here's the apps that we put in. So I think, I don't remember, we created these, I think during a demo at one point anyway, but here we go. We've got, and I can click on this. This is something that was in there. I can see, what we were looking for. I can hit continue. And, this is how you manage your quote and apply apps. So it told me this was probably a fake app anyway, 1180. Yeah. So I can go back in, I can go 01/01/1980, log in. You need someone's birth date to get in there. And here are the rates. Here's where this case stood. It's going to drop us right where it was. If we were in the middle of an application, it would drop us in there. It dropped us in. This is what we were looking at the time. Some IUL coverage. Okay. So I can make some changes and then send this thing out. It's still going to be good. But this is a place that you manage it. I also want to tell you something else that nobody seems to know, that nobody knows enough of. If I did an application for a guy and then, I can go in, I can adjust it, but if I've already submitted that application, I can't adjust it anymore. I can copy it. If I hit copy, it's going to create a new application. Then I just go into that one and make all the changes on it, but it's going to keep all that information. If I put in, his name, address, phone number, date of birth, his beneficiary, his wife is all in there, his social security number is in there, everything's in there. It'll keep if you just hit copy. So a lot of times we're doing a second application. Sometimes it's because someone got, bad rating somewhere. So sometimes you successfully did it and the guy wants to come back and, he's like, oh, that was great doing that term life. Can we add a little bit of permanent life too? Sure, we can do that. And by the way, that I can go back, I can hit previous. Maybe I want to change it to a different product. In this case, maybe the guy wants to look at a return of premium term product now. Oh, nothing available for that guy for some reason. I don't know why. This guy's like, yeah, let's add a little bit of term. Okay, I can do that. So just so you know, this is where you manage quote and apply. Let's see here. Furthermore, I can see my website here. And let's see here. If I hit settings in there, here's where I can access that greeting. I want to say something different than what the quote was. Some people want to add a disclosure. Some people work for companies where they absolutely have to have a disclosure. The legal department says we need this in there if you're going to do this, so we can add a disclosure into there. Here's the intro email. If I click it off, it won't be sent out. If it stays on, I can add the info in here. Obviously, don't change the bracketed first name and bracketed company name, but maybe I want to add, you know, my phone number, and the phone number will go out with that. And so, so maybe I want to do that. I'm not going to do it in this case because I don't really care. Let's see here. Email agent, capture email, require the user's email before applying for quotes. Well, this is up to you. Some people obviously want to capture it. We get a lot of like P&C agents and health insurance agents who have huge books of business, and they send out their link to just, you know, hundreds and hundreds of people. And so they want to know if someone's going to go through this, I want to absolutely capture a phone number, absolutely capture an email address before they get far enough. But you know what? A lot of people don't want to do that. And if they don't want to do it, they're probably not a good client anyway for you. So up to you though. You can click on those. I could also change my defaults. Like maybe I don't want to show $1 million of term. Maybe I want to show $500,000 of term. Let's see here. So I can do I can change the override state. Right now, the default state, so you can set a default instead of a defaulting to the user's IP address. So you can change that. Anyway, so I've got choices there, which is pretty nice. So that's quote and apply. Now I want you to know some things. We give you 3 ways to quote and 3 ways to apply. Quote and apply is just one of each. And I'll show you more. We're at 1241 here in Denver, 241 on the East Coast. So when you have a case, quote and apply is where you're just the quote, the applications, the quotes are. Once it turns into a real case, you'll see it here. You'll see it show up right in here. Okay. And that's where you manage it. That's where you communicate with underwriting, and they tell you what things are going on, what things are still needed, what things are needed from you. It tells you, you know, if case is approved, but you guys will be getting emails constantly from us when you have applications in, but this is where you can manage that. If you have a lot of them, you can use these boxes up here to sort through it. And pending is the ones that are in process. That's the default. You know, you might want to look at some active ones. There's a lot of people who, you know, have been selling with us for years, and they want to look at their active cases. They want to look at some inactive cases. Oh, what about those? Let me come through and see if some people who didn't take their coverage or who were declined for some reason, maybe I can do something with them this year. You know, you can go through that. The commission section is going to show you about, you know, commissions that you've been paid and all that. So obviously this guy hasn't, so I don't mind showing you. Let me show you some other things here. Products. Okay. So in the product section, this is going to show you a lot of stuff. There's 423 pages of it at 10 each. So there's 4,230 things in here. But maybe I want to boil it down to, I mean, Transamerica was who we were looking at. So let's just pull up Transamerica. So again, there's 23 products here from Transamerica. Under fixed life, of course, they have other, I think they've got annuities. They used to have long-term care. They don't have disability. I don't think they've got linked benefit. So not necessarily everything's here, but I can share these with you. And since I'm in products, I might take a look. We were looking at the Trendsetter Super. So I might want to throw in the word super because they're different products. And we're looking at 30, and I can see, but that's Transamerica Financial. Okay, something you guys should know, Transamerica Financial is operating in New York only, not anywhere else. So New York pays lower commissions, but then they pay renewals. In other states, we were looking at Trendsetter Super 30 right here. So I can see it pays 85%. And then if there's anything else to be said, there might be some information here. Okay. So this is where I can learn about how much, you know, how much commissions are being paid. Let's see here. We can look at quoting. Okay, so here's some other quoting options. I already showed you quote and apply. Here's yet another way you can click on quote and apply. You can request a quote with us. So once you learn that, you know, you can request that you've got these contacts and Todd here runs quotes for you. You might think you should go directly to him, just send him an email and ask for a quote. Please don't ever do that, because he won't respond to it, or he won't respond correctly to it. He wants you to fill out this form every time. It's the only way he can track it. So if I want to look at if I want to do a quote request, I go into here. Oh, whoops, I clicked on quote and apply. Sorry. I request a quote, and here I can put in some information. Obviously, I can do the same things as I was doing before. 1980, and it's a male, and I got to tell him things. You know, super preferred, obviously, in this case. Sometimes you don't know. I think we have a, don't we have? I guess we don't. Okay, well, just put in some approximate, maybe just put standard if you don't really know. Join insured, if I'm doing a second to die, I can do the join insured, but I'm not going to in this case, obviously. And then I got to tell them, what are we trying to accomplish here? So a lot of times it's going to be, this is not really for term insurance. He'll do your term quotes, but there's no reason to. Term quotes are at your fingertips. There's no reason to do that. You might want permanent quotes here though. Maybe you want accumulation products. Maybe you want to see, something, something unusual. I don't really know, but you put in what you want, and you got to have a death benefit or a premium, and you got to give him information here. Okay. Tell him about your case, and he will absolutely run, stuff for you. So fill that all in and hit create quote. And that's how you do it. And then you'll be able to, and then you'll also be able to view your existing quotes here. You can track them as well. Let's see here, more quoting options. Okay. So the other thing that I think you should know, it's at your fingertips, is iPipeline. It's the third way to do a quote. iPipeline is a third-party provider. It's not us. But here's, they want you to log in. This is my login. If you don't have a login, fine, go create one. They ask for almost no information. As long as you're coming through this website, it'll create a login for you, and then it'll just cash in on your computer, and it'll be there. So I'm going to log in. I'll show you what it looks like really quick. If I want to run a quote, something that I can send to my clients, maybe I do. Oh, geez. Maybe I put in this information, and we'll just keep all that. I can choose multiple terms. I can choose GUL products in here. $1 million. Obviously, I can select a health class. I'm going to choose that one. And I'll just show you what the output looks like here really quick. So the output's going to look like this. So Sagicor is a great example. That's a company that does not, that is not on quote and apply, but they've got cheap products. So sometimes they show up here, and sometimes they're great, but they don't have anything more than a 20-year term. We were looking at 30 for him before, weren't we? So they're not going to show up because they don't have a 20. They don't have 30. They've got 10, 15, and 20, nothing else. So monthly, I could choose that to show monthly or annual. And look, now I'm just looking at a different view. I think Cincinnati isn't on quote and apply either, but all these other companies are. And quite a few of them are, obviously not all these. So that's kind of what it's going to look like. And from in here, I can manipulate this. I can say, I had a bad experience with American General. Let's just unclick that. So guess what? It's not going to that's going to disappear from that. So look, it's not even there. And I can do a download. I can do a list report. And here's what the download looks like. I'll show you really quick, because this is so you get a PDF like this. That's 5 pages long because it's 20 and 30-year terms. It's a ton of them. And that's something nice to show your client, because your client knows if you're recommending, let's say you're appointed with Transamerica, you really like how they work. You can see right here that this is why you're recommending them. They are a top carrier, if not the top carrier. But if they're not the top, gives you a chance to give them perspective. Hey, you could have gone to Minnesota Life or John Hancock or Nationwide, or Omaha. You never really know, and get something a lot more expensive. So that's what that output looks like. And it's pretty nice. And you can manipulate it. Okay. So I'm going to actually use this tool a little bit more tomorrow and show you more about it. So what else do we have here? This is about annuities. Stratecision is about long-term care. And what else should I really show you? Help Center. Okay, so this is something we're working on. For those of you who have been with us for a little bit, you'll know that we just released a new version of the Boss system. And so we've got we've got a whole bunch of videos on here in the Help Center that are going to give you a pretty good idea of how it works, but it's all in our old system. And we've been doing a transition from the old system for about 3 months. But now it's, as of about 2 weeks ago, you have to be on the new system. So you're going to see videos where we're on the old system. But anything about quote and apply is still quote and apply. That didn't change. It's Boss that changed. But you can see some good help videos in here. Forms and applications. If you need individual forms, you can pull them out right here. Maybe you need to go to a specific, you need to get something from a specific company that was asked for. So, we might be pulling up some things here, and this is where you're going to find those forms. So you can pull out any of these individual forms and download it and be able to access it there. For those of you who are familiar with IGO, because most BGAs use IGO, and we do as well, and you can access IGO right here, also through iPipeline. So you're going to need that. You're going to need that account. I'm already logged in, so it's not asking me to log in, but I can start a new case and I can apply just like I did with quote and apply. But IGO is only agent facing, and it's a little bit more cumbersome to use. It's definitely not client facing. Let's see here. Something I actually did want to share with you. Let's continue this really quick. While your client got the link, a lot of times an agent will go ahead and fill in some of the basic information like that you might know. Maybe you're a P&C agent and you have a little bit of this information, but not all of it. You can just let your client finish it with that link. Or I can take this invitation, I can copy and paste it. So that copy my clipboard, I can paste this. If they didn't see the link, maybe it went to spam, I can do that. I can, let's see, dark mode. So we have dark mode. I don't know, some people think that's fun. I can actually change to dark mode right here, make the whole thing look different. But I can also email the quotes to a client. Let's see here if it's okay. So when I was in this section here, I could actually email this quote and I could send it to, I could send it to my client. Check out your Transamerica 20-year term life insurance quote. So you actually could send them directly from quote and apply, which is pretty nice. And let's see here. I'll actually show you what that email looks like. So right here. So this is what came through. Of course, if you've got a security settings like I do, you have to download the pictures, but your client can get this. Oh, that's not downloading. Should show the carrier logo right there. And then, a client can go in and review the quote and it'll take them right to that spot so that you can see the numbers. So it's pretty slick. And I could also print this quote. So sorry, I had to go back to quote and apply here. But I could print it and it'll show me these things. And I could email this, and you can actually, if you send it over in PDF form, they can actually click on the button and apply from there. So it just made me think of that when we went through iPipeline here. Okay, so I'm kind of all over the place, but I have given you, quite a bit to look at. I've shown you quote and apply. I've shown you, a basic overview of Boss. There's a lot more in here. What else? So let me look at, I'm going to pull up the chat, but in the meantime, some people are asking me usually people ask a couple of questions. One is, what does it cost to use this system? And it's pretty important to know that this system is free to you. By using it, you're sending business through us. We make a little bit of money on an override, It's it's how BGAs and IMOs make money. So there's a little bit there for us. And so we're just encouraging you to use us and by giving you tools in your hands to make things easy. Okay. The contracting, a lot of people ask about dual contracting. Do you have to get released from another company? Some companies make you get released. That's true. I would tell you that the majority of companies that we work with on our system are allow dual contracting, but there are some who make you get a release from a previous company if you got appointed somewhere else. If it's if you've done business with them within the last 6 months, it's pretty typical. Each company has a little bit of a different take on that. But the other thing about contracting, I think you want to know, because some people come to us, they're like, hey, I want to sell this policy from Lincoln Financial. Will you get me appointed? And the answer is no. You sell the application first. And as soon as you turn in the application, we send them over all your contracting paperwork and we get you contracted at the exact same time. They're doing contracting simultaneously along with processing the application. It does not hold up your application. Everything keeps moving along at the same time. And usually there's no concern. 99.5% of the people of the contracting applications that we send over are approved. Sometimes people have issues like they've got prior legal issues. Maybe they're maybe an agent's in bankruptcy, and some carriers won't take you. So if you've got issues, then let us know and we'll see what we can do about that. But for the most part, we are we do those things simultaneously. Okay, so those are kind of some questions, some FAQs that I get all the time. Let me look in chat really quick, see if there's any questions. Is there a fee for agents from Joanna? Oh, got it. But then it was answered by Rob. There are no fees. Just write business with us. Let's see here. And only legal U.S. status can apply, correct? Payments are with ACH only. So legal U.S. status is not necessarily a requirement. It depends on the carrier. Each carrier is a little bit different. I assume we're talking about clients, not agents, insureds, not agents. So yes, if you're a U.S. citizen, that's helpful. If you have a green card, permanent resident status, then that's also as good as a U.S. citizen. But we insure lots of people who have who are here on a visa. But there's some visas that are better than other visas. Like if you've got a client on an H-1B visa, that's fantastic. That's like the highest level of visa. That's highly skilled workers. Silicon Valley workers we've seen come through with H-1B visa, and their spouses have something like a H-4 or something like that. Depends on, it depends on their visa status. There's so many visa status types that we can only check. There's some companies that are better than others, better at it than others. I would tell you my favorite company, not because we were just looking at them, but Transamerica is really good with foreign nationals. Okay, so that's a great place to look. So I would tell you we have a whole lot of people from India in this country working, and Transamerica insures a lot of them from us. So I'll tell you that right now. But they're not all H-1B visas. There's a whole variety of them, but they are looking for people who have established themselves, who have who aren't just coming and going. Like a temporary 6-month visa is not going to cut it. Something that's a longer term visa would be helpful. They're going to have employment. If they have assets in the U.S., that's helpful. If they have spouses in the U.S., that's also helpful. Okay, so that's a very specific situation, but I answered it anyway. And you asked, are payments with ACH only? No. But monthly payments are only with ACH. If clients are, if they want to pay monthly, yes, ACH is the only way to go, is the only way that's available. If they want to pay quarterly, semi-annual, or annually, most companies will allow direct billing. Some companies will allow a credit card for the first payment. So if you want to do a first annual payment by credit card, there's a couple that'll do that. So that's kind of nice. But otherwise, they'll do direct billing. So I don't see any other questions. Rob, do you have any other questions or thoughts? Anything that I missed here? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think, David, just excellent presentation. The system is just so powerful. It looks like, from what I see on my end, just about every single person on this call, about 35 people, close to that, just signed up to get started with it. It's a lot to cover in 1 hour, guys. So we are going to have an advanced training tomorrow at 2 p.m. where we're going to dive in a little bit more deeper. And we're looking forward to helping everybody grow their business. And thank you for everybody attending. And thank you to David for giving this great introduction to the system. Love it, guys. Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you, guys. Have a good day. Hope to see many of you tomorrow.